Hello and welcome to the Hammercicruit podcast. Here I am with Haran Kumar, a good comrade of mine. Sadly, Carter won't be joining us since this was kind of impromptu, but this is actually the first guest on the Hammercicruit podcast. So yeah,
Yeah, worst for first.
yeah. So Haran, why don't you start off by?
I want you to read my bio.
Oh yeah, I'll give an introduction to Haran. So Haran Kumar is a neo-Luddite, anti-capitalist, nihilistic, techno-optimist, nihilistic, libertarian, socialist known for his love of isms, oxymorons. He also spoke his first words in spring of 2002, hasn't stopped talking since. He makes awful, really terrible memes. For some reason he enjoys debate. Playing sports, I don't know if he really plays sports. Programming, I don't really know how good he is at programming. And he's inspired by the Honius, Greek, and studying mathematics. So that's the Haran's intro that he wanted me to say.
Yes.
So any other background information you would like to give?
I love America, I love God, and I love this podcast already.
Okay.
Where shall we begin?
So let's start with your interest in memes. What makes you very interested in memes?
In memes?
Yes.
Well, ever since I read The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins, chapter 12, it was really enlightening. So for our audience, you wanna explain what a meme is in the sociological context?
So I think a meme, as far as I can tell, is something that propagates it's like a thought pattern or some sort of message that propagates throughout a species. Right. And usually it mutates and changes over time.
Right. So the thesis that Dawkins made is that, these memes, they're like organisms in the same way that we are organisms that are constructed out of genetic matter. Memes are organisms that are constructed out of thought matter. And memes evolve in the same way that genetically based life forms, DNA-based life forms, evolve as well.
But memes are not made out of DNA, right?
No, memes are made out of our minds.
Okay. So, and when he coined the term memes, did he coin it as a joke or?
No, he was dead serious. It comes from the French word, like meme, which is like short for like memory, or something like that. I don't know. I don't speak French. Je suis fromage.
All right. So could you give us some of your favorite memes?
Well, I think we got to take a step back and talk about the types of memes before we dig into the memes themselves.
Right.
Yeah. So you know what the types of memes are? There's four main types.
Okay. Can you please enlighten me?
So the first type of meme is the unironic meme. So that's like what your English teacher puts on the board because they think they're funny. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You ever seen one of those?
I think I have.
So those are like the best type of meme. No, just kidding. Okay.
All
anyway,
right.
So the unironic meme, that's like the pinnacle of memedom. But then as you get more ingrained into meme culture, you descend down the hill and get increasingly worse at memes. So the next phase in the meme master's journey is the ironic meme. So it looks the same as the unironic meme, but it is meant entirely ironically. Entirely.
Okay, could you give us an example of such a meme? Because I am very not well versed in such
You
memetry.
are not well versed in such memetry.
Yes, I am not.
As our resident meme expert, I would be happy to provide such a meme. So an example of that would be one of those like the floor is blank memes, and so for instance in a college meme group like UC Berkeley memes for edgy teens or Harvard College elitist memes for 1% pre-tweens. One of those college groups, they have these memes that are making fun of different academic habits that they have, but they're really meant tongue-in-cheek because the meaning and the content of the meme itself are incongruous.
Okay.
So like Flores memes are one of those types. Expanding brain memes are one of those types. Just all the like things people generally associate with meme culture typically fall into the ironic meme category.
Okay, so you gave us two types of memes. What are the other two?
We are continuing down the hill of increasingly bad memes. So the next phase in the memer's journey is the post-ironic meme.
And what would that be?
So irony is when there's an incongruity between the content of what you say. Oh, my hand's like there. Yes, the content of what you say and what you mean. So there's a disjointness there. With a post-ironic meme, the irony is not in the fact that you have a difference between the content and the meaning, but rather the irony is in the fact that you are ironic about being ironic. Does that make sense? So that's like memes that make fun of existing memes, which is why it's post-ironic, because it's ironic about being ironic. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then meta-irony is the lowest form of memes. So meta-irony is even higher than post-irony. It's a combination of post-irony and regular irony, because you both have this incongruity between the meme and the meaning of the meme, or the memeing of the meme, and you sincerely mean the meme as well. So you see this incongruity there, which
Could you please define the word incongruity?
Incongruity is when you have one thing that is one thing and another thing that's another thing, and they're different. Okay. So they're incongruous because they don't fit together.
Okay, that'll help out for our much more younger viewers.
Yes. I'm looking at you, Chris.
Yes. Anyway, so, and a big hello to our fans at Spark. It's
yes.
They're awesome.
How many people are watching this live?
0. I'm not live streaming it right now.
I'm disappointed.
Sad face.
Well, it's okay. We're gonna have.
It'll go out.
This is gonna go viral.
It'll go out on YouTube. Don't worry. Okay.
Yes. All the people are going to watch it. Millions and millions and millions.
Yes. So I think that So I think you've defined all of the 4 essential meme types. Mm-hmm. Any like really really favorite memes of yours?
Anything other than Tide Pods.
Okay. Yeah, my favorite meme right now is vaping. There's just it's just insane how much vape is in the air.
I love
these
vaping.
Days.
Vaping is probably my favorite pastime.
I mean, it's just you walk in the bathroom in the high school and you're ready to just relax and use the restroom.
I got you.
And then you'll smell this very very malicious smell, and you'll just faint right on the spot.
No, but you faint out of joy.
Of course.
No, because it's so delightful.
Big disclaimer. I do not condone vaping. Please do not vape in any sort of fashion whatsoever. Vaping.
Please don't rescind me, Harvard.
Do not. And this is not a white power sign. I do not condone vaping. Okay? Don't. Anyhow. So I feel like those are some pretty big memes nowadays. Mm-hmm. Did you watch the Super Bowl by any chance?
Of course. I was cheering for Jeb Bush.
I don't think he was playing the Super Bowl, was he?
I think you've got this mixed up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so did you see any commercials that you feel were meme worthy?
I really liked the ad for Tide Pods. Like where the people were just eating the Tide Pods. It was a really good meme.
I really hope that did not happen. Yeah, so I memes are a very dangerous thing. Please consume them modestly. They can be as addictive as such drugs as alcohol, tobacco, and other addictive substances. So please use your memes and consume memes in moderation. Now, moving on.
Oh boy.
Socialism. I heard that you're politically you lean mostly left, right?
No. Incorrect.
What is your political standpoint?
I'm in the authoritarian right.
Oh, I did not know that.
Really?
So, I had no idea. So could you...
I would have voted... I wouldn't even have voted for Trump. He's too liberal for me.
Oh my.
Well, more too libertarian for me. He's got the authoritarianism going for him, but he's too libertarian. He needs to be more socially conservative for me to support him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So could you elaborate a little bit more on your political standpoint?
My political standpoint? So, My political standpoint is based on a few central tenets. So the first is that the first is that America's the best country in the world.
Okay.
The second is that all socialists are also communists in disguise, and all communists are Nazis. And that's not good because Hitler's un-American. We beat him in World War II. We beat him in World War One. We beat him in the Revolutionary War, and
But I thought that Hitler was a fascist.
yeah, and fascists are communists. They're the same thing. You know what Nazi stands for? National Socialists.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Viewers at home, look that up.
You learn new things every day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Hitler was a leftist.
So could you?
And that's why we need to go as far as possible as we can to the right.
Oh, I think okay.
I don't know why this is funny. We're talking about like genocide.
No, it's just.
You know how many people have died as a result of.
Hello, I'm getting a call.
Yo, answer them on the call.
Привет. Harsh. Bye.
Di Ganarata. Okay, where were we? We were talking about all the deaths that resulted from communism. So if you look around the world, the Holocaust, Stalin, Mao, the purges, North Korea, almost like 99% of all the people who died like in an armed conflict or due to oppression in the past, I don't know, like century roughly, all a result of communism.
Okay, so what is your definition? Could you give us like a history lesson of socialism and communism?
Sure, of course. So in the 1840s roughly, Europe was always in turmoil until like actually not until anyway. Europe is always a really crazy chaotic place. Especially in the 1800s. There's all this turmoil going on, the Industrial Revolution. And so this gentleman named Karl Marx comes along. He's a German, and he says that instead of having people having the freedom to innovate and promote these technologies and these new innovations from the Industrial Revolution that are causing so much prosperity, he really doesn't like that. So he said that the government should step in and take it all away so everyone can be equal. Because before the Industrial Revolution, everyone was dirt poor, and after the Industrial Revolution, a lot of people were rich and a couple people were poor, and he saw that it wasn't fair for the couple of poor people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So also it's worth noting that Karl Marx never worked a day in his life. He was a very wealthy man. He was ostensibly some sort of scholar, but he was really just some rich boy who couldn't succeed in the new economy, and as a result, he was looking for a way to distinguish himself, and he found that in the left, because the left really never has had a bright scholar. So even someone as dumb and unsuitable for the leftist cause as Karl Marx, he was still the best of the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a big disclaimer. These are Haran's opinions, not mine. I'm not going to disclose my political opinions.
He's actually more conservative than I am.
I will not confirm, nor deny any judgments on my political standpoint. Anyway, so I heard that it says in your description that you gave me that you're a nihilist. So could you elaborate on that?
No. I'm not a nihilist. That's just a meme.
Oh, okay.
It's a meme. I'm actually a deeply religious person.
Okay, so what religion do you follow? If I can ask that question.
Oh, that's classified, but you know what? I'll declassify that right now, just for your podcast. I'm a practicing Orthodox Hindu.
Okay, that wasn't really much of that wasn't eye-opening.
Eye-opening? Would you prefer I convert to Judaism right now?
No, we're not gonna go into my religious practicings because that's also another podcast in its own. It's
You know what? I will convert to Russian Orthodox right now. Teach me how.
I'm not. I'm not.
Call Aaron.
Oh my gosh. I don't associate with that specific. No. No religious symbolism.
No, no, that's very un-American of you.
Another
For
disclaimer.
the record, he's Russian. He's like not even supposed to be in this country. This is America. This is a country for people who love freedom and God and patriotism.
Oh my gosh.
And presumably the Philadelphia Eagles and Jeb Bush.
I was born in this country, thus I receive birthright citizenship.
Right,
so
right.
it's not much of an issue for me.
No. I'm not saying that you're not legally a citizen. I'm just saying that in spirit, you know, if you don't like this country, you should maybe find a different place that would be better for you, like Russia.
I don't think I would.
Russia, Ukraine, Syria, North Korea. There's plenty of places for left-leaning folks. China, Vietnam, Sri Lanka.
So what other reasons do you like America exactly?
America has been a force for good around the world. If you look at all the places that America has intervened, we've really bombed people out of the Stone Age. So like for instance, if you look at Iraq, everyone talks about how we have made Iraq so bad, but actually if you look at where Iraq was before American intervention, in 2001, look what was going on. There was all these chemical weapons. Saddam Hussein was killing all these people, oppressing the women, killing the Kurds, all these terrible things, and America stepped in, bombed them out of the Stone Age, and now they're a modern Western style democracy with great human rights practices as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Why is this funny? We're talking about literally like people being oppressed and a country that had no obligation to do so, going in, stepping in there, and helping them out, right? This isn't funny.
Are you 100% sure that those countries have like really well put together civil rights practices?
I mean, unfortunately, America has under Obama. So wait, let's take a step back. So President Obama, by far the worst president in recent history, one of the worst in American history overall. So anyway, Obama, what he started to do is he realized that there's a lot of people in America who are, I'm not going to swear, but they are kind of cowardly, right? So these people, they don't like, invading other countries because they're like, yo, that ain't right. So Obama realized that he could tap into this political sentiment for all these people who are anti-war or like communist or fascist or whatever. All these people who didn't want to be involved in a war in another country the U.S. had no obligation to be involved in. And so as a result, he realized that it was politically expedient for him to take American troops out of Iraq. And we've seen it descend from, basically like a bastion of America in the Middle East back into, kind of like a third world country again. But with Trump, we're starting to see this reverse, ISIS is almost like 100% gone. You heard his speech. ISIS almost 100% gone. America's helping with them have fair, free, democratic elections. So yeah. It's a work in progress. Obviously, Obama did a lot of damage, but I'm optimistic that Trump's gonna set things right.
Wow, I can feel your optimism from 2 feet away. It's really magical, man.
I just hope our viewers will be able to feel my optimism through their screen and through the microphone or whatever medium they're listening. If you're reading this in Braille, I hope you can feel my optimism.
So I know we covered memes. I know that you covered your hatred for socialism and your American values.
Yeah.
So I heard that you're a well-known person in the high school system. I heard that you got a 36 on the ACT and some other stuff.
Yes.
Is it true that you were accepted by Harvard University?
Yes, unfortunately.
A
bastion of liberalism. But don't worry, I shall set that institution straight.
So you're gonna take over the institution
No.
from...
So here's the problem with Harvard. It's a bunch of, East Coast elites. They're very wealthy and, East Coasty. Yeah, all that East Coast money floating around, and they're liberal and communist. So, yeah, as a result of all that, it's a very liberal place. Even the Harvard Republicans, they didn't even endorse Trump. Now, like, I agree that Trump is might be a little bit too liberal, but their reasons or that's just that he was too conservative for them, which is just radical. He's Trump used to be a Democrat,
I did not know that.
Trump was a Democrat. He was actually friends with Hillary Clinton. He went to their wedding, the Clintons' wedding. He was actually, pretty deeply ingrained in the Democratic Party. So Trump is historically speaking, pretty liberal. It's just that this country has moved so far to the left. My hands don't fit on the screen. That's cool. Anyway, so where were we? We were talking about Harvard. So yeah, the Harvard Republicans, basically the Democrats. The Harvard Democrats, basically the Harvard communists. Well, all Democrats are communists, but they're basically openly communist, supporting Bernie Sanders. So my point is, Harvard's a very liberal place, very PC, and I'm gonna go in there, stir the pot,
Stir the pot.
Stir the pot.
Okay.
You know Milo Yiannopoulos?
No, I don't.
No, you're missing out, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be the next Milo for all my Milo fans out there. I know Milo's he's descended pretty far. He's descended into overt liberalism, but I am gonna stay true to my roots of strong American values. Living the American dream, and yeah.
So what is the American dream to you, though?
The American dream is, coming from a dirt poor, crap terrible country, and then come into this country, or come even you don't have to come from elsewhere. You have to whatever wherever your circumstances. The American dream is the idea that you can come to this country. It's a melting pot. You learn so much from all these other cultures, and you grow and you become through your hard work, resilience, and self-determination. You just push your way through and make your way to the top of the food chain. So there's a lot of people in this country who I really look up to who did that. People like Bill Gates. He grew up in a poor I don't know what they call it in this country, shanty town of the Washington State, and he made his way all the way to second richest man in the world. And while we're talking about that, first richest man in the world, well, actually, first legally rich man in the world, Jeff Bezos, also a very hard-working person. I don't know his background, but based on his, I don't know what his background is, but I'm sure he's living the American dream too. Richest person in the world is unfortunately not American, which is very sad because America is the best country in the world. Unfortunately, the richest man in the world is your own Vladimir Putin, but he's not normally counted in the statistics. You know that?
Oh wow!
Because all his money's dirty. But he's roughly probably a half trillionaire because he essentially owns a stake in basically all the major private companies in Russia. Because let's be real, Russia's still essentially a communist country. Oh. Communist dictatorship.
Thanks for yeah. I will take that into account if I ever go to...
If you ever go back, beware. Russia, it's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. It's not America. So people like us, we don't have any rights there because it's not America.
I see.
They don't have any freedom, they don't have any patriotism, they don't have any American dream, and they don't have any bald eagles.
So do you think you're going to achieve your American dream?
Oh man, I've been living the American dream. I've just worked my way up from nothing to something.
So what was your nothing then?
Nothing was before conception.
So before conception you were already working to become something?
Yeah. I swam really fast and here I am.
Wow. That's almost as crazy as literally every single story of every single miracle that's ever been recorded in the history of the world.
It is pretty crazy. Thank you. Yeah. Conception is a miracle. It's a gift from above.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was like...
Do you believe in evolution?
Is that bad?
Dude, I'm like this close to ending the interview because you believe in evolution. I can't be seen publicly with someone like that. But you know what? You know what? I'll make an exception for you just because you're such a nice guy, okay? Do you know why evolution is wrong?
Please enlighten me.
So, are you familiar with the notion of intelligent design? So, there's a lot of constructs in biology, things like, say even the most simple thing, like you know what a flagella is?
Sure.
Sure?
It's a flag. No, it's a tail.
Yeah, so in like single-celled organisms, this is where it originated. It's like a bacteria builds a tail to swim around, right? And there's dozens and dozens of genes that go into the creation of that tail, the synthesis of the proteins that go into that tail. And the thing is, for this to evolve, based on essentially random mutation, you'd have to see that each incremental stage of being closer and closer to the current state of that flagella would have to provide incremental growth. But the thing is, there's so many interlocking systems. There's the essentially the chemical motors inside the cell that are driving the motion. There's the tail itself. There's the proteins coating the surface to ensure that it can slide through the water nicely. It's all these interlocking systems. If you only have one of them, you don't get the benefit evolutionary. There's no selective benefit. So clearly, this system had to be constructed as a whole, and that doesn't happen randomly with random mutations. It has to happen together. And there's numerous other structures in the human body and the animal kingdom that could not arise randomly. Like the human eye, there's so many interlocking lenses and fluids and nerves that simply you couldn't have one piece of it without the other. So that's evidence that it couldn't have originated randomly. There's actually essentially a huge conspiracy in the world of science to promote these types of
so you're saying that
yeah.
If I have a piece of clay,
mm-hmm.
and it's like a hard piece of clay, but it's still clay, and I keep punching it,
mm-hmm.
then essentially over time, even if I make a dent, that dent is just going to go away?
Exactly. That is exactly what I said. Thank you.
Oh. Because...
So essentially what evolution people like, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's the worst, by the way.
Oh.
Actually, no, he's not the worst. Bill Nye's the worst. Bill Nye's the worst, then Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Hmm.
Anyway, I digress. Anyway, so what these evolution folks, who are really just have a conspiracy against religion because they're all atheist. But anyway, what these evolution folks, are talking about is what these evolution folks are talking about is they're saying that like you just punch the clay, and if you punch it, that you sometime randomly the clay like spontaneously turns into a pot, right? The thing is if you keep randomly punching it, every time that you punch it, even if you like make one section more like a pot, you make other sections less like a pot, so it doesn't turn into a pot spontaneously.
If you give it enough time, like even if you look at...
See, there's the other thing though, like the way this metaphor kind of breaks down in the context of evolution, because the only way that a change continues to be propagated in future generations is if it provides a selective advantage. But as we've talked about with all these interlocking systems, you don't get that selective advantage unless you have all these different components interlocking. So the cell is essentially going to have a negative cost for, say, building one component of the systems that goes into the flagella. There's actually a cost to doing this because it has to invest resources in doing that, so it's actually less likely to reproduce.
So with all these things, so how does machine learning work?
Machine learning?
Yeah.
Machine learning is completely different than evolution. So I think what you meant to ask is how do genetic algorithms work? And genetic algorithms, as we know, are like basically a dead end in research. Like they work on a select number of problems that are like specifically constructed to work around them, but like you can construct the types of models we're doing with machine learning right now with genetic algorithms. And if you think about the models we're using right now, they're really just like they're designed by humans. There's intelligent design there. Like I'm not denying that humans like learn things over the course of their lives, but the brain itself is constructed by God, right?
So how can
intelligent design?
Wow. I never thought about that. Oh man, I'm gonna have to completely reevaluate all my life decisions. You know,
Good.
maybe, maybe I'll stop acting emo for a while. I don't know.
You know,
This
if
is
that's
very life altering, man.
if that's
I
if
don't
that's a healthy
understand.
direction for you, I think that you should explore it.
So I heard that you're vegetarian. What's that about?
Um, it's because God cries when you kill animals.
I see.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
And I don't like making God cry because he's a nice dude, and I don't do that to people who are nice to me.
So so assuming that our Spark buddies are watching this,
Yeah.
and some of your friends from maybe debate or just the high school, any other topics you want to talk about to further your beliefs and points that you have
My
made
beliefs
during this
and points.
podcast?
I mean, there's always tons of things to talk about, but I'm thinking of what people will find interesting. Let's talk about why open source is terrible.
Okay, so on that note, we're gonna be ending the podcast.
Okay.
This was the Hammer Circuit podcast with our lovely comedian Haran Kumar.
I just want to say,
So that was this terrible episode of Hammer Circuit.
best episode ever.
Please look forward to the next episode where me and Carter will actually be talking about some deep philosophical stuff. So
This
it'll be
is
really
deep
interesting.
philosophical stuff.